The dominoes are beginning to fall, one by one in a slow progression. Those aware of the dilemma watch and observe, waiting for intuitional nudges to guide them to appropriate action at the proper time. Difficult as it is to do this, it is correct to be doing this. And it must be remembered that what appears to be overwhelming odds for the opposition is being viewed through the media reports prepared with care from their point of view and the point of view that humanity is meant to believe. In other words, saying something is so does not necessarily make it true. Awake and aware observers are key to the laying of the foundation of the new paradigm. What is most difficult is to observe without buying the myths and disinformation as it is presented. It is important to be able to differentiate between their story and our story. Theirs is graphically portrayed and couched in emotional terms, while ours is based on coordination with the flow of creation that brings into being universes, galaxies, solar systems, planets, and most important of all, conscious awareness. The purpose of conscious awareness is expansion of wisdom through experiencing knowledge to that higher level. The creation of conscious awareness is only possible through the expansive process of creative thought, focused to magnify the originating energy source. Since it is quite apparent that the purpose of the obstructing focus is to suppress and halt this flow of the expansion of conscious awareness, it is indeed in conflict with creation as a whole. Therefore, it would seem obvious which side of the coming collision of wills it would be wise to choose. Carefully which side with which to be associated. While this message does not contain anything new when compared with those already received, it does serve to delineate the lines of differentiation that are becoming more and more clearly drawn. Yet, the time to step to either line has not yet arrived. It is still time to observe and become convinced as to the authenticity of messages. There is need for each to absorb their intention and to perhaps become familiar with the laws by applying them to daily life, and to know intimately that they do indeed work in coordination and support of focused intent. It is necessary to always be clear that if they work in personal realities, then it is possible to glimpse the capabilities of their use in coordinated agreement to change larger, more complex realities. Remember, the reality that this planet is now experiencing is in place because of humanity's agreement to accept it. The agreement to not disagree with what is presented as reality may not create it, but it does indeed allow it. How can a human population the size of what now experiences on this planet ever come to an agreement to change it? It is not necessary for there to be a formal agreement that outlines what is desired, only to agree on desiring to change end the existing one. That single agreement, focus alone, would cause the current experience to change, to literally disintegrate. Humanity was never meant to exist as a single pattern. It was meant to shift and change as each individual consciousness pursues its evolvement that brings with it a coordinating exchange of positive attributes. Those that create for themselves and others a path that does not coordinate with the flow of creation toward expansion of consciousness are offered opportunities to understand and change. However, if ignored, their path will eventually be severed. The whole cannot be sacrificed to an aberrant experiment should it become that prolific. Human consciousness is not meant to be docile and submissive. Fragile as the spark of life is, it is also tenacious, or it could not have survived to this point. In planning to bring it under control, the forcing of human evolution to reverse into subservience is a formidable task, particularly with the degree of freedom and intelligence that has been reached. Thus, it has been a task that has been passed from one generation to the next with amazing potency by those who consider their fellow humans a lesser life form. However, humans have continued to evolve and have not made this task an easy one. When the success rate of the amount of influence that has been focused on the human consciousness is considered, it becomes clear that their only remaining card is brute force after thinning the population to what is considered a controllable number. This must be accomplished with as much anonymity as possible, lest the sleeping masses awake and revolt too soon. What can be said to encourage those who know the facts seems pitifully small, but what has been explained carries capability if properly implemented that is more than sufficient for the task. The focus of intent with understanding is power